Hey guys, today we're going to be drawing a watercolor bubble tea. If you're new to Procreate, I also have a tutorial called 25 Procreate Tips and Tricks, which is great to watch first because as I draw, I will be using these fast actions. I will link that video below. So in my layers panel, I've already got my paper and effects, and I've downloaded this textured background, which I'll link below in the description, as well as a watercolor layer where we're going to be using this to color in our bubble tea. And on top of that is our sketch layer where we're just going to quickly sketch the outline of the cup. Also, we're going to want to import an existing color palette from a bubble tea image. So I already have one picked out, which is in my Safari right there. So we're going to swipe up, and then to make a split screen, just drag it like that and put it beside Procreate and just let go. And then just click on that. So now you got your split screen open. I'm just going to drag this just so that Procreate is a little bit bigger. And then I'm going to open up my color palette and then make sure you're under palettes. And this is the image I want. So I'm going to grab that and just drop it into my color palette, and it's going to pull all the colors from this bubble tea. So now we can get rid of Safari. And we've got that color palette right there. So let's begin sketching. I'm in my sketch layer. I'm just gonna quickly grab just a dark color, maybe a black like that. And we're gonna go to settings, canvas, and then drawing guide. We're just gonna enable our grid so that we can draw the outline of the cup. And I actually want to just decrease the opacity of the grid. So I'm gonna go back into canvas. I'm gonna hit edit drawing guide, and the opacity, I'm just gonna make a little bit lighter because it's just too dark for me to see right now. All right, something like that. Also, we're gonna grab the sketch brush, and then I'm just gonna quickly sketch the outline of the cup. All right, so that is the basic outline of the cup and the straw. So let's get rid of our drawing guide, just uncheck it. And we can start by going into the watercolor layer and just selecting, I guess, whatever you want to start with. So I'm making a milk bubble tea. Again, you can choose whatever color you want. You can create another color palette if you're doing like a green tea or a passion fruit. So I'm just gonna start off with this brown chocolate. And I'm gonna grab my watercolor brush here. And there's several different types of watercolor brushes that this artist has designed. So I'm just gonna show you this first one. That is the flowing brush. And then another one is just a textured stroke with dark edges. And this is just a wash brush. I think this is just to blend. And then got a wet brush here. So I think I'm gonna try to use this one right there. So let me just get rid of that. And then we're gonna start again. So I'm gonna use the flowing brush. So I'm just gonna start just lightly going over here, and it's okay if I go over the edges because we can always erase it after. Just gonna put another layer on. And I'm just going, with not too much pressure. You can put more pressure if you want. And then I'm just gonna go back and then just select the wash brush, I guess, just to kind of blend it together. And then I'm gonna select another color, maybe this one over here. Go back into my flowing brush. And so as you can see, I haven't let go of my pencil. So I'm gonna let go and do it again. And it's gonna have another darker layer on top. And every time I lift up my pen and redo, it's gonna get darker and darker. Just as it would if you were using real watercolor. Okay, I'm gonna grab my wash brush again and just lightly blend that. Okay, let's select a darker one again. And I'm also gonna just add a white just for the milk part. Okay, that's a bit too opaque, so I'm gonna decrease the opacity on that. Again, that's too... And again, with these brushes, you really just have to experiment. Because whatever I do here is probably not going to be the same on your canvas. So I'm just blending right now. Okay, so now we can also play around with some of the liquid by going into the adjustments tool and then going to Liquify. And so there's a whole variety of options here. You've got push, twirls, pinch, expand, crystals. So I'm gonna try the push, see what happens here. As you can see, you're just pushing around the color. You can increase or decrease your brush size as well. We can also try the pinch. So as long as you're holding the brush down with some pressure, it's gonna pinch the color for you until you let go. Really cool effects. And you can play around with the settings on your iPad as well. Okay, I'm gonna try the twirl. Oops, so you can see my colors are twirling. Kind of gives it a liquidy feel. So you can move your brush up or down, diagonal. Here's the crystals. This one, I believe your brush size is gonna have to be real big for you to notice anything. So we can be playing around with this all day. So I'm kind of happy with that. And I'm just going to let go that with the arrow. And then now we can do, you know what? I gotta fix up here because liquid doesn't do that at the top. So I'm just gonna do the flowing brush again. Just select that color. I'm gonna create a line, but I'm just gonna blend it with the blending brush. I probably will have to go through the Liquify tool again just to fix that top part. All right, so next I'm gonna grab the eraser brush. So you wanna make sure you're just on a regular round brush. We're gonna erase just the sides. All right, next I'm going to create a new layer, and I'm just going to choose a darker color for the tapioca, and then we can start drawing some circles. It's okay if you go over the edge, we'll just erase that off. And then we could put a tiny bit of highlight just with a lighter shade of that color. Which we can blend. Just going to use my blending tool for that. It's barely noticeable, but it'll make a difference. And then now we can color the cup. So we're just gonna select a gray color. I'm gonna just make a new layer for that. I'm gonna do a soft gray. We still have our flowing brush. Okay, let's just take off the sketch layer and see what's going on. We have to clean that up just a little bit. And then I just want to move this gray layer underneath the watercolor layer, because I'm actually just going to do an outline of the cup also in gray. So let's make sure we're still on our flowing brush. I'm going to lightly do just an outline. So now we can create a new layer just for some highlights. So I'm gonna go back to my flowing brush and select a white. And let's just move this layer actually above the watercolor so that I can paint some highlights on this side. Then we'll take the wash brush and just blend that. All right, and let's create another layer, and then we're gonna do the straw. And as you know, bubble tea straws come in so many different colors, so I'm gonna pick just like a teal. And it's okay if we color outside the lines because we're going to erase it after. And we're just going to make the inside of the straw a darker color. And same down here. And we can take off the sketch layer, grab our eraser, and then to make a straight line, don't let go of the pencil. And then I'm just gonna go back and just touch up the highlights. I'm just gonna add a little bit more of a darker color just to differentiate the lid. And I kind of want to make a little bit of more contrast with the watercolor liquid layer. So I'm going to go into that layer I'm gonna go to my adjustments panel and just go to hue, saturation, brightness. I'm gonna saturate it just a little bit more. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed this tutorial. It's just a fun little watercolor exercise you can use to practice. To get notified of more new videos where I teach you to draw, be sure to subscribe to Draw with Marina.